Welcome back to Tom Dave's Live. Today we have Don Yoakum. Don, how are you today?
Doing awesome, man. Thanks for having me, Tom.
Well, it's been awesome. Great friends. And we first met back in the day. We were both calling expired listings and getting things going. So, hey, let's just jump right into it. Today, I'm excited that we're going to chat about the Independent Broker Boost program by eXp. So, but first, Don, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. Well, as you mentioned, we met in the early '90s, going after expireds, and those were my Remax days, and those were good times. And both of us, of course, were top producers in our market. From there, I, of course, joined Keller Williams in 2000, and you were my first recruit. If I could be so fortunate, of course, you went on to be #1 KW agent in the world 7 times. So that was pretty fortuitous. And, during my tenure at KW, I built 10 successful brokerages and acquired a number as well with some other partners. So had a lot of experience with building as well as owning brokerages. And so I've really been impressed with the Boost program from eXp, in that in many cases, it is offering the broker more money than they would actually be able to sell their brokerage for outright. Tom, you may know that brokerages will typically sell in these markets for about 2.5 times trailing 12 months earnings. So, if they're making 100,000, they're worth $250,000. If they're making 400,000, they'd be worth $1 million. What a lot of people don't know is that oftentimes those deals are strung over 3 years. They will claw back income if there's attrition, which, there's a lot of attrition with agents these days. And so oftentimes those deals don't turn out to be quite what the broker had wanted or intended. And the Boost program is nice because there is an attrition calculation, but it's all within 1 year. And so the program is very attractive. Tom, I feel like, of course, I've been on both sides of this fence. And what eXp has given me, essentially, is the benefits of brokerage ownership without the broker liability and capital risk. That's how it feels to me. I don't know, what would you like to know, though?
Yeah, so, I'd love to unpack that just a little bit, Don. Can you please share how this compares with selling an independent brokerage outright? What are the pros and cons? Maybe you can share a few of the nuts and bolts.
Yeah, sure. Well, like I said, the valuation model for brokerages is not fantastic. To only be able to sell for 2.5 times trailing 12 months earnings doesn't usually net the broker a tremendous amount of capital. And even if it is a good amount of capital, well, that's the end of the picture. What the Boost program does is it enables the broker to monetize this sales organization that they have built, sometimes over 10 or 20 years, and then align with those same people at eXp and be able to continue to scale that organization. Tom, one of the things that, I'm a numbers guy, right? So one of the things that I did is I went and I looked at the business builders at eXp, and I asked the question, okay, with these 100 business builders, what was the correlation between the number of people that they had recruited and that were active and what their organizational size ended up with, right? And if I build an independent brokerage and I have recruited, let's say 200 agents and I have 150 still with me, well, I have 150 agents, right? Well, when I looked at the correlation between recruits and organizational size in eXp, it was 51 to 1. Okay. So if I had recruited 20 agents, I would then have over 1,000 agents if I gave the maturation period was 5 years, right? So When I talk about that I was given the benefits of brokerage ownership without the broker liability and capital risk, the third part of that equation is that it scales. Because everyone, not just the independent broker owner, has a vested interest in the growth, the other influencers in that particular brokerage or sales organization are also looking at what can they do. And what's beautiful about it for a lot of brokers, because some brokers have made it, frankly, but most agents have not, and they don't have a retirement strategy. So here's a way now that a broker could not only now mitigate their risk, but they can also ensure that their agents that have been loyal to them for 10, 15, 20 years, they also now have an opportunity for stock and revenue share, just like they've enjoyed, and at whatever level that they want to take it to.
Wow. Well, what about long-term future for the independent broker, Don? What does that look like?
Yeah, well, if they choose to be a builder, they could do something like the top 100 folks at eXp have done. They could scale an organization literally to 50 times their agent brokerage size. So let's say they have a brokerage of 40 agents. Usually, by the way, a lot of people don't know this, but about 88% of the people at eXp don't do any recruiting. They're just focused on production. But there is about 10, 12% of the agents that do focus on that. And some of those become legitimate business builders. We usually figure that somewhere between every 20 and 25 agents, you'll have someone that really dedicates themselves to building a sales organization. So, if that independent broker, let's say, had 50 agents, they probably have 2 builders within that are going to build. And that's where that scale comes into play. So if you have a couple of business builders and they attract the same, you can then reach that scale. And it doesn't happen overnight. Like I said, the maturation period in the sample that I took a look at was 5 years. But in 5 years' time, you can build a tremendous organization. In other words, they could think of their independent brokerage as the foundation. And that is the opportunity then that you're giving those folks to then build from there. And the other beautiful thing is you continue to have a vested interest in their success. So not only are you now giving them an opportunity for stock and revenue share, but you're actually helping them build it.
Wow. Well, this is exciting. So, Don, if someone has any questions and they wanted to reach out, what's the best way to get a hold of you?
Yeah, don@proinsight.com would be great. And or my number is 503-812-2631.
Awesome. Well, if any of you have any questions, please feel free to reach out to either Don or myself. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll talk to you all soon. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Don.
Yeah, thank you. Have a great day.
Good.